Okay, this is speed test of Visible. Not too bad, but not very good. It's better than AT&T out here. But I've seen better performance. Now the upload is a little bare bones, but for most critical things like phone calls, it should be fine, and you might be able to do FaceTime just fine on that. Though I can't guarantee because I don't use it I don't do FaceTime all the time, so I wouldn't be able to verify how good or bad it is. Though, to be honest, the upload is better on your cellular out here. Miles better. Miles ahead. Enough to probably do a real fast upload. Well, not super fast. Okay. This is all LTE only out here because apparently they're not expanding as fast as they should. It's good to see the upload jumped up, but you shouldn't have to walk around random places on your property just trying to get a good signal. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, the upload really improved over here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the throttling is an issue. Let's see, was it? Oh yeah, it must be heavily deprioritized over here. As I get near a few places of business, like over there. Those are storage lockers. And down the street a ways are businesses. And they're probably hitting the towers pretty fiercely. Now it's pretty pathetic on down. I'm glad I have good US cellular coverage here, because if I needed to upload something or download something, I wouldn't end up having to take quite as long to do so. Okay, it varies a lot. But usually it's close to 40. With speeds averaging 42.1 or thereabouts. The ping's not too bad like it used to be, from what I've heard that it used to be. I heard it's like, ping used to be like in the 80s. Or worse, so. I guess they moved it from the cloud core that they use to Verizon's network core. Good thing I'm doing the trial. I don't think it's just going to be enough of a meaningful improvement for me to consider paying for service from them, even as a backup or secondary backup. because here in this area I can get speeds on US Cellular in the triple digits, nearing 200 Mbps. Okay, this is a worst yet speed test result. 13.3, 5.70. The upload is not too horrible, but the download really took a hit. This is not necessarily indicative of a Verizon experience, even after using your priority data, because you would still be on QCI, on the highest QCI. So you'd likely see speeds closer to that of US Cellular on Verizon with a postpaid plan from Verizon. And if you're too stingy to pay for a single line at the ungodly price they charge, you might want to consider Circled In. I hear that Circled In enables you to be added to a multi-line plan, and you have access to customer service in that. But the only downside is you might not have access to the Netflix necessarily, or whatever. So that might be the downside, is you might not get all the perks. Anyway, pretty miserably slow coverage here. At least it's usable, though. Barely. I did notice one thing, though. Even when it's pretty slow, it seems to work better than my home internet when playing a mobile game. The home internet, Comcast, when run on Wi-Fi, I think maybe there's some kind of issue with something on the back end that causes a problem with my mobile game. So it's nice to have self-service so that I can enjoy my favorite mobile game without having a pain in the neck trying to enjoy it. Okay, wow, it just suddenly doubled in speed in a location that was testing at half the speed. So apparently their DeepRio is more on the unpredictable side. In fact, it's probably worse speeds than you would probably get on a Straight Talk or Net 10. In fact, I'm fairly certain If you want a experience closer to Verizon, you would have to buy Visible Plus and not use over 50 gigs. Or you would have to connect to, let's see, what's it? Oh yeah. Otherwise, you'd have to go to Xfinity and not use over 20 gigs. Or be in an area that has 5G UW coverage. Though you could probably be better off with just about any MVNO other than Visible when all you're doing is streaming. Though Visible would probably be better than Comcast on Visible Plus, because Comcast, once you burn through 20 gigs, you would end up being hard throttled to 1.5 megs. And that hard throttle could mess with your viewing experience when not on Wi-Fi. Unless it connects to 5G UW. But the problem with Comcast, Xfinity, is their 5G symbol doesn't let you know when you're in a UW, when you're connected to ultra wideband. So that makes it difficult for you to be able to manage your data accurately, because you could potentially be in a 5G UW coverage area and then it would suddenly drop to regular 5G and you wouldn't know. And 5G UW is exempt from the data limit. But for some reason, Comcast doesn't think it's important to let people know when they're connected to UW or not. And it costs them a ton to pay for data on the regular 5G and LTE, so it's kind of counterintuitive for them to do that. Anyway, it's good to see that in this area, Visible, though it gets slow, it hasn't gotten to unusable speeds. It helps if you're not in a densely packed urban area. So, if you're in a neighborhood, you might notice slower speeds because a lot of the people might be on premium carriers with priority data. And the regular Visible takes the hit for all the people that are on there. Because even a Net 10 would have would be speedier during regular times, averaging speeds between 7 meg and up on LTE. At least in my experience. 39.9 and 6.48. Yeah, I think I'm done with this test. It's good to see that even though this area isn't covered with 5G low capacity, it can still provide meaningful and usable speeds when on LTE. At least when it comes to LTE 4x4. 2x2, it might be a little sketchier, but it should still be within the usable range of speeds. I wouldn't recommend using anything as old as the original SE, because I've seen Verizon MVNOs on my old original SE be as low as 2G speeds when it would get in upwards of 7 Mbps in the second gen SE that runs 2x2 MIMO. So it's more than just the MIMO gear. It has to do with the bands that the original SE lacks. So it's always good to ensure you have a phone that's as new as you can potentially afford. And the SC second gen can be got in certain places dirt cheap. I got mine refurbished from Total Wireless for $129 plus tax. And after 2 months of service, it automatically unlocked. And now I'm using it as my AT&T line, so that way my phone doesn't get dropped, doesn't lose a signal to AT&T, which it had in the original SE. So I retired the SE because it's too old to be something that I would be comfortable even giving away to somebody. Anyway.